My dear brothers and sisters, pause for a moment. You didn't come here by accident. You didn't click this randomly. This moment was written for you. Every once in a while, Allah places something directly in your path, a reminder, a verse, a message, right when your heart needs it the most. And if you're hearing this now, then understand something very clearly. Allah is calling you. Maybe you've been struggling quietly. Maybe you've been drifting without noticing. Maybe your heart has been heavy, empty, or confused. Or maybe you've simply forgotten the peace you once felt. But Allah has not forgotten you. He brought you here today for a reason greater than you realize. This isn't a coincidence. This is a sign. A gentle tap on your heart. A message meant specifically for you. So listen closely, not with your ears, but with your heart. Because what you're about to hear may be the reminder that shifts your life back toward the one who loves you more than anyone ever could. When a person slowly drifts away from Allah, they don't always notice it. It happens quietly. One missed prayer becomes two. One small sin becomes a habit. The heart becomes heavier, but life keeps moving. And you keep telling yourself, I'll fix it tomorrow. But Allah loves you far more than you realize. He does not leave you in that state. He sends reminders, soft, gentle, and perfectly timed to wake your heart before it hardens. These reminders come in many forms. Maybe a verse touches you deeply for the first time in months. Maybe a lecture appears exactly when you needed guidance. Maybe you hear someone speak about Allah and suddenly your heart feels something again. These are not coincidences. They are messages. A reminder reaches you only because Allah allows it to reach you. He places it in your path because He wants good for you. He wants to pull you away from what harms you and bring you back to what heals you. Ibn Arabi said that when Allah loves His servant, He surrounds them with signs until they cannot ignore the truth. And here you are listening, thinking, reflecting. That itself is a sign that Allah hasn't forgotten you. He is calling you back gently, lovingly, because He wants you close again. There are moments in life when everything seems normal on the outside, yet deep inside your heart begins to whisper. You feel a strange pull towards something greater. You can't explain it, but you sense that your soul is asking for more peace, more purpose, more connection with Allah. This inner pull is not random, it is a sign. Sometimes the world becomes noisy, your routine becomes heavy, and even the things you once enjoyed don't satisfy you anymore. Your heart feels restless and you start searching for meaning in places you never looked before. This restlessness is actually a mercy from Allah. It is His way of telling you, you were not created to live empty, return to me. When your heart starts longing for prayer again, when you suddenly feel guilty about the sins you used to ignore, when you desire to learn more about your faith, these feelings are not accidents, they are gifts. They are a sign that Allah is turning your heart back toward Him before the world hardens it completely. Ibn Arabi teaches that the soul recognizes its creator more deeply than the mind ever can. So when your heart feels drawn toward Allah, it is responding to that ancient connection. Allah is awakening something inside you that you may have buried with distractions, pain, or neglect. If you feel this pull, don't ignore it. It is Allah choosing you. It is Allah calling your name. It is Allah reminding you that peace will never come from the world. It only comes when the heart returns to Him. Many people assume that when life becomes difficult, Allah is displeased with them. But in reality, some of the greatest transformations happen through hardship. Sometimes Allah calls you through blessings, but at other times He calls you through pain. A heartbreak, a failure, a sudden loss, a dream that slips away. These moments often open doors that comfort never could. Hardship is not always a punishment. Often it is protection. It is Allah pulling you away from something that would have harmed you even if you desperately wanted it. You may not understand it in the moment, but later you look back and realize if that door had opened, you would have lost yourself. Allah loves you too much to let you walk blindly into what destroys you. When something breaks your heart, it often breaks your attachment to the world and leads you back to the one who never leaves. Hardship forces reflection. It softens the heart, humbles the ego, and reminds you that you are always in need of Allah. Ibn Arabi wrote that every trial is an invitation to rise to a higher spiritual state, but you can only rise if you walk through the pain with trust rather than resentment. Your difficulty right now may be the very reason this reminder reached you. Allah is redirecting you. He is removing what blocks your path so He can replace it with something better. Sometimes the only way Allah pulls you closer is by making the world loosen its grip on you. So do not think Allah is punishing you. Think Allah is guiding me. Allah is protecting me. Allah is calling me home. One of the clearest signs that Allah is calling you is when the same message keeps appearing in your life again and again. It comes from different mouths, different places, different moments, yet the message is always the same. At first, you may ignore it, you may dismiss it as coincidence, but after a while you begin to realize Allah is repeating this because your heart needs it. Maybe you keep hearing about prayer. Maybe every lecture, every reminder, every video somehow leads back to your relationship with Allah. Maybe you keep being reminded to leave a certain sin, to fix a part of your character, to let go of a toxic habit, or to change your lifestyle. Even when you're not looking for reminders, they keep finding you. This repetition is not accidental. It is divine mercy. Allah knows that human beings forget. We become distracted easily. We drift without noticing. So He sends reminders again and again, not to annoy us, but to save us. Think about it. When someone loves you, they remind you gently, repeatedly, because they don't want to see you hurt. Allah's reminders work the same way, except His reminders come from a place of perfect knowledge and perfect love. Sometimes the reminders become so specific that it feels as if they were designed just for you. You may hear someone describe a struggle that matches yours exactly. You may read a verse that feels like it was revealed for your situation alone. You may stumble across a message that speaks directly to what your heart hides from people. Ibn Arabi taught that when Allah intends good for a person, He surrounds them with signs from every direction until the heart cannot deny them anymore. These signs are like gentle knocks on the door of your soul. If you ignore one, Allah sends another. If you miss that, He sends a stronger one, not to punish you, but to bring you back before life pulls you further away. Allah does not remind you because He needs your worship. He reminds you because your heart needs Him. And the more you ignore a reminder, the heavier your heart feels. That heaviness is itself a sign that your soul is starving. It's telling you that something is missing, and that something is your connection with Allah. Have you ever wondered why certain reminders reach you at the exact moment you are struggling with something? Why you hear them right after making a mistake, right after feeling lost, or right when you start drifting spiritually? Because Allah times His reminders perfectly. He knows when you're slipping. He knows when you're hiding a struggle. He knows when your heart is getting tired. And He sends the right message at the right time, often more than once, because He knows exactly when your soul is ready to wake up. So when the same message keeps appearing in your life, don't think this is strange. Think Allah speaking to me through this. Think Allah has not given up on me. Think Allah wants me to return to Him before the world distracts me again. A heart that keeps receiving reminders is a heart that Allah still wants. And if Allah still wants you, it means the door to guidance is wide open. All you need to do is respond. One of the greatest signs that Allah is calling you is when He protects you in ways you never asked for, never noticed, and often never understood until much later. Most people think Allah's protection is only in miracles, big signs, or obviously saved situations. But in reality, Allah protects you quietly, subtly, gently, in the small moments of your life. Think about all the times something almost went wrong but didn't. The accident that nearly happened, the job you didn't get, the relationship that ended suddenly, The plan that fell apart painfully. The door that closed even though you begged for it to open. In those moments, you may have felt confused, hurt, or disappointed. But now, if you look back, you realize something deeper. Allah was saving you from harm you didn't see. This world is full of unseen dangers, spiritual, emotional, physical. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom, places barriers between you and these dangers without you even knowing they existed. You call it bad luck, wrong timing, or a setback, but in reality it is Allah's protection operating behind the scenes. You wanted that friendship, Allah protected your heart. You wanted that opportunity, Allah protected your future. You wanted that plan, Allah protected your faith. You wanted that person, Allah protected your soul. Not every disappointment is a loss. Sometimes it is a shield. There are moments where you are heading toward a sin and suddenly something stops you, a delay, a distraction, a change of circumstance. You think it's random, but Allah is the one redirecting your steps, preventing your downfall, guarding your heart from deeper damage. Ibn Arabi explained that Allah's protection often comes disguised as discomfort, because if it came wrapped in comfort, we would chase the wrong things and assume they're good for us. But Allah in His mercy removes what would weaken you, even if you think it would have made you happy. There are people who lose everything they wanted only to gain everything they needed. There are people who cry over closed doors only to later thank Allah for closing them. There are people who feel broken in the moment but years later see the wisdom so clearly that they cannot imagine a different life. This is how Allah protects you. He does not just protect your body, He protects your heart. He protects your faith. He protects your future. He protects your dignity. He protects your emotional well-being. He protects your soul from what would destroy it. Even the people who walked away from you, that was protection. Even the opportunities that rejected you, that was protection. Even the delays that frustrated you, that was protection. Even the heartbreak that shattered you, that was protection. Allah removes what is not written for you because He knows what you do not know. He knows the intentions you cannot see. He knows the dangers you cannot sense. He knows the consequences you cannot imagine. He knows the long-term effects you cannot predict. And while you are crying over what you lost, Allah is protecting you from what would have broken you even more. Sometimes Allah protects you by taking things away. Sometimes He protects you by giving you something better. Sometimes He protects you by changing your plans entirely. And sometimes He protects you by sending you a reminder like this, a message that reaches you at the moment when your heart feels weak, confused, or overwhelmed. This reminder itself is protection. A sign that Allah wants to strengthen you before life weakens you further. A sign that Allah wants to steer you toward guidance before misguidance pulls you in. A sign that Allah wants to heal your heart before the world hurts it again. So the next time something does not go your way, don't rush to say, why is this happening to me? Instead say, Allah is protecting me from something I cannot see. Because if Allah removes something from your life, it means He is preparing you for something far better. And if Allah keeps something away from you, it means it was never meant to bring you closer to Him. Remember, a believer is never rejected, only redirected. Never abandoned, only guided. Never punished, only protected. And today, this message reaching you is one more layer of that divine protection. One of the greatest signs that Allah is calling you is when your heart softens at the mention of His name. This softness is not weakness, it is not sadness, it is not emotional sensitivity for no reason. It is a spiritual reaction, a response from the deepest part of your soul, recognizing the one who created it. There are people who hear reminders every day, but nothing moves inside them. Their hearts become hard, distant, numb. They hear the Qur'an, but it feels like just sound. They hear advice, but none of it penetrates. They see signs, but their minds remain closed. This is one of the most frightening conditions mentioned in the Qur'an, a heart sealed from guidance. But if your heart reacts even slightly, take it as a gift from Allah. Think about it. If a verse makes you pause, if a reminder makes you reflect, if a lecture makes you tear up, if a dua touches something hidden inside you, if the name of Allah makes your chest feel lighter, then understand this clearly: your heart is still alive. And that is one of the greatest blessings you can ever have. Many people spend their entire lives chasing the world until their hearts become completely dead. Nothing moves them, nothing reminds them, nothing brings them closer to Allah. They are physically alive but spiritually gone. But your heart responded. You felt something. Something awakened inside you. Something whispered, "This is for you." This may seem small, but spiritually it is enormous. Ibn Arabi taught that the heart recognizes Allah long before the mind understands Him. The mind analyzes, questions, hesitates, but the heart knows. The heart remembers the covenant it made with Allah before you were even born. That is why when you hear the truth, something deep inside you responds instantly, even if your mind is not ready to accept it fully. This reaction is not randomness. It is memory. It is recognition. It is your soul remembering its creator. Sometimes you may feel ashamed because your heart reacts while your actions are not perfect. You might think, I feel close to Allah, but my life doesn't reflect it. Why do I feel this way? The softness of your heart is not a sign of hypocrisy, it is a sign of hope. It is Allah showing you that He still wants you, that He has not turned away from you, that your sins have not destroyed your connection with Him. If your heart trembles even slightly, it means the door is still open. And Allah's door remains open until you close it with arrogance or neglect. As long as you feel something when Allah is mentioned, there is still time, there is still hope. There is still a chance to return stronger than ever. The heart softens for many reasons. Sometimes because you are broken, sometimes because you are tired, sometimes because you are searching for meaning, sometimes because Allah is lifting the veil between you and Him, sometimes because He is preparing you for change. A soft heart is one of the strongest indicators that Allah has chosen you for guidance. Not because you are perfect, not because you are strong, but because you are reachable, you are teachable, you are still capable of turning back. Look at how people react differently to the same truth. One person hears a reminder and laughs. Another hears it and mocks. Another hears it and feels nothing. But you hear it and something inside you shifts, even if just a little. That shift is priceless. It means your heart is not sealed. It means your heart still has light. It means your Iman is not dead. It means Allah is giving you a chance that many people never receive. Don't let anyone make you feel like your small emotional reactions are meaningless. They are not small. They are signs that Allah is gently pulling you toward Him. Sometimes the heart softens because you went through hardship. Pain humbles you. Loss opens you. Struggle makes you reflect. Allah uses these moments to soften your heart, not to break it, but to prepare it. A hard heart cannot receive guidance, but a softened heart can absorb wisdom like dry soil receiving rain. Other times your heart softens because Allah wants to protect you from becoming lost in the world. He gives you spiritual sensitivity to keep you close, to keep you aware, to remind you that your true peace is found only with Him. And sometimes your heart softens because you are ready for change, even if you don't realize it yet. Allah prepares the heart before He prepares the life around it. He changes what is inside you before He changes what is outside you. So if your heart softens when you hear His name, know this: Allah is calling you. Allah is choosing you. Allah is guiding you gently. Allah is pulling you closer. Allah wants purification for you. Allah wants elevation for you. Allah wants you to return before the world distracts you again. The softness you feel is not weakness. It is strength. It is faith. It is divine mercy entering your heart. Hold on to it. Nurture it. Protect it. Respond to it. Because a heart that softens is a heart that Allah is still calling. One of the most powerful signs that Allah is calling you is when something reaches you at the exact moment your heart needs it. Not earlier, not later, not when you think you're ready, but when Allah knows you're ready. His timing is perfect. It is never late, it is never accidental, it is never random, it is always precise, purposeful, and full of wisdom. There are moments in life when you feel weak, lost, overwhelmed, or distant from Allah. You feel like nothing makes sense. You feel like you're carrying a weight nobody understands. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a reminder reaches you. A verse appears, a message appears, a lecture appears, a dua reaches your ears, a friend says something at the perfect time. A moment of clarity hits your heart like light entering a dark room. And you think, how did this come right now? Why did this appear today? What are the chances? The chances are zero without Allah's will. Allah brings the right reminder to you the way rain reaches dry land exactly when it is needed, exactly when the ground is ready to receive it. If the rain came earlier, the soil wouldn't absorb it. If it came later, the soil would crack. But at the right moment, the soil softens and begins to bloom. Your heart is the same. There were reminders in the past that didn't touch you because your heart wasn't ready. There were verses you heard but didn't feel deeply. There were lectures you listened to without reflection. There were moments of guidance that passed by you quietly. But then came this moment today, a moment when your heart is open, a moment when your soul is listening, a moment when the veil between you and Allah is thinner than before. A moment when your life, your struggles, your emotions and your circumstances all align to make the reminder reach its deepest point. Ibn Arabi taught that guidance comes when the heart is prepared, and the one who prepares your heart is Allah Himself. Allah is the one who turns hearts. He is the one who softens them. He is the one who opens them. He is the one who decides when someone is ready to receive guidance. Even if you feel broken, even if you feel sinful, even if you feel far from Him, the very fact that this reminder reached you now means Allah has not closed His door to you. You might wonder, why now? Why this moment? Because Allah knows things about you that you don't know about yourself. He knows the weaknesses that are growing inside you. He knows the sins you are struggling with. He knows the temptations pulling you away. He knows the burdens you're carrying quietly. He knows the thoughts you hide from everyone. He knows the heartbreak you pretend doesn't hurt. He knows the questions you're afraid to ask. He knows the emptiness you don't speak about. And He brings the exact reminder that can heal what you haven't even put into words. Sometimes guidance doesn't come through ease, but through difficulty. A loss breaks you open. A setback slows you down. A disappointment wakes you up. A hardship strips away your illusions. A heartbreak shakes your soul. These moments create space inside you, space where guidance can finally enter. Had the reminder come before your struggle, you might have ignored it. Had it come at a moment of comfort, you might have dismissed it. But Allah brings reminders when they can save you, not when they entertain you. He brings them at the moment when they can transform you, when they can redirect your path, when they can reconnect you to Him,